all I kept hearing is, you're finally starting to see it, you're finally starting to get it, you're finally starting to understand. Interesting, I have the swan here as I open this deck. And the swan in this deck is about transitions, and that you're safely protected through a transition. And you've been going through, this Nine of Birds is like the Nine of Swords. Really in your head, anxiety, because you've been going through a really tough transition in your life. Where basically your ego, infinite paths, you're going through a spiritual awakening. And your ego was basically shredded. And this is a very painful process, but it was so that you could finally come to this understanding that Pelican is about when that ego has been shed and you've learned the lessons, you can then move forward. It's like the key to the next realm. And that's what you've finally discovered, is the key to this next realm. So you finally realize that nothing in this world is about what you can gain from it. It is only about what you can contribute. We were not put here to take. And obviously what this is significant to what's going on in the wider world is we've seen the consequences of our actions when the intentions are not pure, when our intentions are to take. We have seen the devastation that it's caused throughout the world. And that's all really coming to a point at this point in time. And what we're all realizing, we're all going through a different kind of spiritual awakening on an individual level. But what's really being shown here is that there is nothing in this world. It's all about what we can contribute to this world. So there is the Nine of Trees when I split the deck. That's like the Nine of Pentacles. And that's like a wish fulfillment, a personal fulfillment. And it's showing that our personal fulfillment should come from what we offer to the world. So like a lot of us are waking up to like the whole 9-to-5 grind and saying like, this isn't for me anymore. Like I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied doing it. And part of that is because are you happy with what you bring to the table when you go there? A lot of people just go there to collect the check at the end of the week for that sense of stability, and it's not fulfilling on a soul level. And it's getting to a point where we're all coming into our personal power. And the realization here is that what are you offering to the world? That what you bring to the table is what should fulfill you. That what you're giving to others should be the fulfilling aspect. What you give to others is a measure of your worth, not what you can take from others. And we're really coming back to that, I think, in a collective way, which is why things are kind of like, it's crumbling and loudly. And I think this is just the beginning, and it's only going to get a lot louder, but it depends on where you are in your journey, how loud that tree that falls is going to sound to you. You know, if you're really close to it, you might get hit by it, but for some of us, it's only going to be a sound in the distance. And if you get that, you get that. But what we're really being called to step into right now is our purpose in that, when people say follow your joy, is that when you contribute, when you bring something to the table, how does that make you feel? That if you're going to your 9-to-5 and you don't feel good with what you've put out, if you're feeling like, oh, I'm just doing this for the boss man, and it gives you nothing, you know, what is that energy that you're contributing to the world? What energy are you bringing to the table? And the song, it's by Michael Jackson, that the man in the mirror, that we're really being asked to look at ourselves right now, and see that the events that are unfolding around us are a reflection of our individual shadow selves being collectively purged. And that if we wish to not see this kind of behavior and destruction and hatred in the future, we need to take a look at ourselves and on an individual level, ask ourselves, how are we going to change, and what do I bring to the table? How am I putting good energy into this world, or energy that makes me feel like I'm contributing, or just a fulfillment or a contentment? We're being asked to really look at ourselves in the way of what can I offer the world instead of what can the world offer me. That if you're going into something purely for the money, the recognition, the status, those aren't bad things, but if that is the sole reason you're doing something, that is not a stable foundation. As we've seen, a lot of foundations are crumbling. It doesn't matter how tall the building was, if the foundation was cracked, it's gonna fall. And this is, we're being given these examples so that we can see, once this falls, we're going to have to rebuild. And this is the example why they say history repeats itself, so you gotta learn it. And I feel like we learn history and then we repeat it regardless because we only go with what we know. Is that we're being guided to look at it and see what went wrong so we can build differently. And this starts from a heart-centered approach. So it's when I've been saying in my previous readings that you've been redefining your why, this is what I was referring to, is that a lot of us who have been going through a spiritual awakening collectively, we have been constantly refined so that we can get back to this. And what is your true motive in doing what it is that you want to do? Why are your dreams your dreams? What is the end goal? And if they were superficial reasons, then they were ripped away from you so that you could, or just ripped out of your hands and then held in front of your face so that you could take a look at it and say, is this really what I wanted? And is this actually going to bring me fulfillment? Because that'll happen a lot. You get what you want and you realize this isn't what you wanted in the first place. So it was actually being taken out of your hands before it was given to you. It was like your last test of, are you sure you really want this? And a lot of us have been doing some significant soul searching as to what is it that I truly want, and how does it make me feel? A lot of us have been boxed in where it comes to like hermit mode or finances, things of that nature. Yep. Okay. That's awesome. Yep. Like this entertainer card definitely refers to what I was saying. Is that this entertainer card is a lot of like brings a lot to the table, but it can be a smoke and mirror show. At least in this deck, it can refer to that. So you're being asked: are you entertaining for superficial reasons, or is it because you want this new emotional beginning with the Ace of Lotuses? Is it that this entertaining, is it for your own ego purposes, or is it to like spread love, like peace, happiness to the world around you? What is it? What is this show that you're presenting to the world? What is the roots of it? That's what you're really being called to look at. And it's interesting because it almost looks like there's a root coming out of the ground and wrapping around this person. That basically whatever you're transforming into, what are the roots to it? What does it represent? What you're establishing now, what is it that you want to grow into? What seeds are you putting into the earth? In 20 years, what do you want to see flourish? And that's with this new emotional beginning, this Ace of Lotuses. We have this opportunity now to decide, to go inside and sit down and say, who is this person that I want to be? That the decisions I make today are going to impact the person I am 20 years from now, 20 seconds from now, it doesn't matter, but who I am now is going to impact my future, but also other people's futures, because obviously we impact the world around us. There is a co-creation energy, and there's a merging of everybody in this realm. We're all connected in some kind of way, and you're definitely being guided to sit and ask yourself, what is this new beginning? What is this new thing that I want to bring forth? How do I want to add my mark to the world? And what is it that I want to leave for others? Because as we've seen, there's been so much intergenerational. I've seen a lot like discourse and obviously upset, and it's that our generation, who you are sitting here today, is going to impact those in the future. And do you want the future generations to look back and say, wow, I really have to dismantle everything that those people did because those intentions weren't pure, that the roots weren't good? Or do you want something that they can flourish and flower from and really benefit from in the future? So that's what we're all being guided to sit with right now, which is what kind of new beginning, new future, new emotional endeavor do I want to bring in? If this resonates with you, let me know. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you can head to the link at the top of my page. Thank you.